Hey everyone, welcome back. Let's talk about Monday Night Football between the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Got a little divisional game come this evening, and I want to share with you guys my best bets and a lot of my leans, plays that I'm looking into, as well as my breakdown of the game in its entirety. So at the end of this video, you'll have a better idea what I like from the prop market side, the total, all that good stuff, and a little couple game props along the way with some touchdown scores. So pretty good video. We have a lot to do today. Indians and the Yankees square off as well, so it's going to be a fun day within the betting ranks is just well for viewership and entertainment purposes. Really excited for the contest we have this evening. All right, well, let's get down into it, guys. If you are new here to the Bettor Mark, make sure you all subscribe right down below. Please smash that like button as well, and feel free to leave your picks down below in the comments, all that good stuff. If you want to follow me on X, feel free as well. We do post on there as well, and also please hop on over to the Discord where we do have a very large community that is ever growing. Okay, so let's get down into it, guys, and please remember, though, this is just my picks. Everyone needs to know and be aware that this is a game that, quite frankly, could go either way. All right, it's more of a coin flip, and I'm going to preface this by saying this is just my analysis and breakdown. Does not actually represent what I'm actually going to be betting for this game. If you want to know that, hop on over to the Discord. But within these spots that we do get a kind of a weird coaching turmoil. Also, you get a reeling Jets team that really can't find their way. All right, they're going to be playing a little bit more desperate than the Bills. There's a couple stat lines and hurdles that I want to bring to your guys' attention as well, because I think they're going to represent a lot of the things that are going to be in the Bills' way as well. So, firstly, I want to tell you guys that I am on the Bills, but in this matchup, I do like the Jets in the first quarter. It's kind of an angle I'm taking within taking the Jets on the money line. Because for that first quarter, because I think we get a chance at a 3-3 push, 7-7 push, as well as just the fact that the Jets do commandingly play motivated after what's happened within Robert Saleh being dismissed. We do see the likes of Nathaniel Hackett having his play calling duties relieved. So Aaron Rodgers, we'll see how he responds, losing his friend, his longtime friend and play caller. But that's something where we look into kind of how this is going to shape out. Historically, you do get kind of both ways, but I think more so it lends towards the argument that you do get a team that plays more motivated. And me as a football kind of just kind of knowing the game and observing, I think this is where we lend towards the argument that Aaron Rodgers at his age, not saying he wants to become a coach, but he definitely has a, how should I say it, a very strong, probably stronger sense of running and commanding an offense than any other quarterback I think that I've watched in the NFL. And that goes back probably maybe Peyton Manning was in my lifetime probably a little bit bigger than that, where you really don't even need an OC. So that's I think Rodgers definitely takes the cake. A little bit more cerebral and intuitive within kind of just doing it his way, okay? And I think that's something where people do obviously go down their own path within like being able to change it at the line and in the huddle. But this is different. It's a different kind of approach where he could go out there and it's just his game. He runs his game. And I think that actually happened in Green Bay a lot. And that was some of the reasons why they moved on, was just because it just didn't always work out in his favor. However, there is something to point out. I think that running the ball in this game tonight is going to significantly favor the likes of the New York Jets. The Bills' run defense is absolutely horrendous. The Jets, I think, in my opinion, for what you take from them is if they couldn't play for Robert Saleh, that's a very strong motivator, intense coach. It's going to be very interesting to see how this defense responds for the Jets. That's also why I'm going to lean towards the over, because I do think that they are going to lose a step in terms of, I guess, just that intensity. And I think the Buffalo Bills, don't get it twisted, they are still a team to be reckoned with. I think that for my money and in my opinion, they just went through a couple games of a lull, if you will. Right now they're having some trouble in terms of stopping the run. And then also the biggest thing about that is they have some injuries on the offense. So we look at what Josh Allen's able to do. It looked fantastic a couple games into the season. But more so, the biggest question that I have in an issue is the fact that when we talk about Josh Allen kind of and what he's going to be able to do tonight, if you look at his statistics and you go down into it and you look at kind of where he's at against teams that not necessarily even to the Jets' capability with their defensive secondary, such as Sauce Gardner, so on and so forth, and that pressure from that front seven unit. It's more so just his statistics going against not even good ranked teams throwing the football. Okay, you can look at this down the list. You can do a quick Google search, whatever, and just kind of view it from that perspective. He's really struggled throwing the football, and last week was very, very evident. Horrible outing for Josh Allen through the air, and I think that's more the same where we do get that kind of performance where, yeah, it's Monday night, yeah, that he can light it up, but he's going against some middle of the pack defenses in terms of pass defense, but this is something where the Jets come in little tougher task, and I just don't look for his offensive numbers throwing the football. He's shown some signs of regression, failing to get over 200 yards in 3 of the 5 games, actually failing to even really come close to 200 yards in 3 of the 5 games, and he's not really stretching the ball downfield. And this is, we've had some outliers. We saw this a little bit better off when we did have that game in prime time. I think it was against Miami. All right, and that was where we had a good game in that matchup where they looked like they were going to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, coming back against Arizona in Week 1, but we'll not count that one because that was Week 1 jitters. But for me, guys, I think that the Bills will score. I don't think it's going to be all too crazy in the air. So I am going to be looking at the Josh Allen under passing yards. That's kind of my breakdown on that. I think he's going to look to get the ball moving tempo. I think both of these teams are going to play with tempo, and that's kind of why I took the Jets on the money line first quarter. Their coach, stated that they want to start fast. If you heard that kind of takeover and coming over from the Tennessee Titans prior in his prior commitment, you could definitely get the feel that he is a coach that will, play an intense style of offense. You can go into Vrabel's kind of mindset as well as having, that smash mouth game with Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill. You never really had a quarterback there, so it doesn't really all fall on Rodgers in this. I think Breece Hall is set up to have a huge game in tonight's contest, so I'm going to lean towards the Breece Hall over stuff in pretty much all regards. But I do like the Braylon Allen anytime touchdown. If you look at the way that the carries have been split, this one's basically plain and simple in terms of just where the money is at. And that is more so where they're giving the football. Okay, so you can see that Braylon Allen, had almost 61% of the touches of his snaps, and that's a huge kind of landmark. Conversely to the Breece Hall 40% roughly. So for all Breece Hall owners, myself included, it's just unfortunate. So we'll hopefully see a different little offense from the Jets in this matchup. Okay, but we do get Todd Downing coming over from the Titans, and he's firmly going to be responsible for that regard. So that's kind of where I'm at within the workload, and that's, like I said, Josh Allen. We're going rushing. I think there's going to be a lot of rushing in this game. I just don't view it in terms of being from done through the air, and I'm really thinking Braylon Allen might get more of the workload as well in tonight's game, or at least a 50-50 split. So the value there with the anytime touchdown is definitely appealing. So that's kind of where I'm at for anytime touchdown markets. And let's get into the numbers where we look at the overall. Okay, so we do have a basic coin flip. Jets at home plus 100. Jets are getting 1.5. We've seen that number crawl down a little bit, so there's a lot of money on the Jets. Okay, a lot of money on the Jets, and it's funny because 90% of the bets are on the Bills, but that number is moving down towards the Jets. So that's kind of how, unfortunately, you have to look at it in terms of where you're at, where your mindset is. Do you view this as being a kind of a explosion for the Jets, a comeback, a reverberation of Rodgers and that offense, or do you think that this is going to be worse and kind of an apocalyptic kind of mid-season for the Jets here as they look in to get to their sixth game of the season, where they have the potential to be 2-4 after the departure of Robert Saleh. So it's kind of a turning point in their season, and it all starts right now on primetime Monday Night Football, going against a tough Bills team entering town. And the Bills, I think, for all purposes noteworthy to this discussion, I think they are going to try to run the football, like I said, and it's going to be a lot of James Cook. It's going to be a lot of Josh Allen. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, we're not in the NFL, but I think it's pretty obvious if you're struggling to throw the football against middle of the pack defenses. Let's not use the magnifying glass on prime time to kind of figure it out going against Sauce Gardner and company when you may not have the most time in the world to throw. So that's kind of where my head's at. So I do like the Josh Allen under passing yards. I will actually probably look into the I very much was interested in the interception market, but I'm not going to look to get involved because solely because of the fact that I don't really know if he's going to have that many passing attempts. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. If we do break it down from an insight standpoint, this is kind of where you look at the under in the last Jets games against top 10 scoring defenses. That's hitting at about a almost 90% chance. That is 7 of their last 8. The Jets covering are 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 games, and the Buffalo Bills are 8 out of their last 9 as a favorite. So all the trends back up the Bills, okay? They firmly do. This is where you look at the Bills on the money line at a minus 116 price is the best number available right now. And this is kind of where it's going to be interesting to see how this game shapes out. I'm kind of getting a little fancy with it, maybe a little bit crazy, if you will. But I do have a lot of plays. I will tell you guys exactly what I lock in over in the Discord before the game starts. But this is kind of my final plays as we look into this board where we'll dive into the Jets on the first quarter. I like that at a plus 100 value. I just think that the Jets are going to play fast. They might get 2 possessions versus 1. Depending on how that coin flip goes, sometimes it can screw you. But I think this is where if the Jets do play motivated, it might not be enough to win the game, but I think it'll be enough where they have a strong showing in the first quarter. So if we get a 0-0, that's kind of okay. We'll push. If we get Jets 7-0, 7-7, 3-3, it doesn't really matter. It's a push as well. So I think that's where I'm at home. I like the Jets on the first quarter money line. Probably my strongest play in terms of the side or total for this game outside of the prop market. I do favor the over 40, 40.5. We'll see where the money ends up. But right now, that's the best number you can find, minus 110, where we do have a little bit more of the money is on the under. So we'll see what happens with that. I just think that this is an over game. We saw primetime unders hitting at an impressive clip. People were on the over for the Bengals game last night, and we got a 17-7 clunker, as that was kind of an interesting one to see play out. But this is where we look at the Jets Bills going over 40.5 is my total that I would lean towards. Okay, and then in the prop market, and these are, like I said, guys, a lot of leans along the way. We'll get into that, but I do like the Bills in the full game. I do think that they can do enough on the road to get this one done. Just where I'm at. I think the Jets in the first quarter start strong and then finish last. And I will be taking the Bills minus 116 on the money line. I think from what Sean McDermott can do, this is kind of where you look at just kind of the coaching advantage, I think, of the Jets not having a coach. So second half adjustments, Bills usually have done a very good job with that in recent history. So I just think it's on the road. They may come out a little slower out the gate. The Jets may play motivated, but I think the Bills end up getting this one done in a game where it's either going to be a blowout or a one-possession game. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I'm not going crazy. It's Monday Night Football. If this game wasn't on Monday Night primetime, ask yourselves, would you actually be betting it? That's kind of what it comes down to every primetime game. That's probably the best advice I can give you guys is just don't bet the primetime game just because it's the only game on TV. That's kind of a degen way to go about sports betting, but it's fun if it's all for fun. Then in good spirits, and obviously you do you. But I will have a little wager on this game. I always dabble into the boosts when we can do a little same game parlay action. It's just too much value to pass up when you get a 50% profit boost on a $200 ticket. So I'll be on that. Probably Jets first quarter money line, and we'll have a baseball video up a little bit later. But this is where I lean in the prop market as well. Braylon Allen, any anytime touchdown. We talked about his touches. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. I talked about him rushing the football, looking to get the ground game going. And then obviously Josh Allen over his rushing yards attempts because of that and under the passing yards. Huge Breece Hall game as well. But I don't think it's something where we need to overreact because of the touch split and the workload share that we have there with the New York Jets. So that's what I got for you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. And we'll see you guys all in the next video. Good luck with your picks. Cheers.